to everybody, the creatures of chat, and those who haven't quite made their presence known in said chat. I am Deli. I'm here with you for the last half of our stream, and with me is the big boss man himself. The big old kendo slice. Only got a piece of him, but he's here.
I mean, you only need one slice. A little bit goes a long way, Telly. And between these two teams in the Noodle Cup series, the Denver Scream and the San Francisco Cyborg, a little bit goes a long way. And I tell you what, just looking at the lineups we have tonight, mercy.
I definitely do notice a couple of these names in here. And, Django's got a mango. They've been in chat for a little while here. They're sure excited to get in. They were awfully impatient through all our breaks. They're excited to get going. And I don't really think there's much of a need to keep these players waiting any longer. I mean, we've had enough breaks. We've had enough downtime. Players have needed to do service left and right tonight. I think we're just about ready to kick things off.
Absolutely, my friend. As everybody is filing in, we have San Francisco Frenchie, Kunix, Django's got a mango, Denver, Gustav, Zikel, and Julian. Great lineups, both sides. Looking forward to a great matchup. We're underway, game number one.
Might I add, great color combos across the field. Blue on white, very easy on the eyes, though. We won't be worried about the colors for too long, as in the corner early, Denver are going to forfeit possession, though. Here comes Frenchie. They might have a passing play here, but Kunix ends up backing off. We'll see if that pays off as Frenchie looking for a ceiling shot. Kings fires, or Kunix, excuse me, fires, but Frenchie will clean up. All names aside, man, that was an easy play for San Francisco.
Yeah, initial pressure, San Francisco Kunix uncontested. Frenchie in the box, first one to the ball. They win the race through 24 seconds.
And now with our kickoff here, we see Django winning that one out into the corner. And now coming down, Zekel? These names, man, they're going to get the better of me today. But Kunix is going to clear out everyone in the box. So there's no need to call names, and Frenchie will get their second in a row.
Yeah, Frenchie taking the initiative here, but Kunix did a large amount of the work, clearing out two defenders in front of Frenchie. He had an easy walk in the park.
And just like that, San Francisco are really starting to run away with this one. This ball sitting in center. Frenchie forces a 50. Gusnov trying to make something happen for Denver with help of Julian. That pass comes across, though Zekel was a bit too far back to capitalize, sending it center again, and Gustav is up off the backboard, loose ball, and that will be finished. We are seeing these goals flying in left, right, and center.
Signs of life out of the Scream as Zekel puts this one in. Gustav able to get the secondary touch, and it's a finish by Julian. Team efforts by both squads so far. We haven't even crossed the minute threshold yet.
A sign of two good teams is the fact that their defense hasn't settled in to deal with their team plays yet, which means it can only go up from here. I mean, there is definitely room for both of these teams to tie things up on the back end and get the loose bits out of the way, as Django here trying to create another one as they shoot, and there's a goalie who gets a piece of it, but it's not enough.
Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of a issue here as both teams just allowing each other to have offensive reign whenever they get the ball. No contest so far on defense. Both teams needing to adjust this.
And here's another chance as Julian found the opening off kickoff, though this time the defense is there to put a stop to things. Frenchie disrupted by Gustav up the wing, and that expelled all of their boost. So San Francisco going to have to restart if they want to answer. Kunix up the wing, has a little bit of boost, gets a 50. It's behind everybody, though they don't have the boost to read. Zekel ends up getting a force 50. Gustav going to send it center. It's a loose ball. Frenchie shoots, and Gustav, like a fallen angel, gets in the way of that one.
Good little initial push in right here, and finally we're seeing both these teams taking both the initiative on defense, not allowing their opponents free reign, and what the 1-2, the back passes just like that in order to keep control, I think are going to be key here as they're really starting to loosen up.
Yeah, definitely both defenses have tightened things up on the back end, and they have not allowed the space like before. But as I say it, a double commitment, and Kunix going to back off. Zeke had no boost, so that could have been punished, though Denver going to be happy that they weren't. San Francisco, a double commitment, and Julian is right there. Right place, right time, and they're back within one.
Yes, sir. Ezekiel, the initial push, and Frenchie ends up taking that. I feel like he did Django a disservice there. Django just waiting in net. Let your man hit a forward ball.
And unfortunately, that's the mistake that makes a difference at this level, is small little double commitments like that always end up with lots of space on the pitch for the other squad. Gusnov tries to clear, but Django's was quite the thorn in the rear end of Denver there in the corner, and they'll get the clear now. Zekel forward, Kunix to beat, and they'll win it. This will fall center, and Django had turned off. Frenchie is there. Where was Denver?
Both these teams are just, it's like Rocky Balboa against Rocky Balboa at this point. They're taking full-on swings. They're committing hard. They're putting everything forward into net, and so far, San Francisco is getting the winner's punch.
This could be an instant classic if this is how the matches continue their pace throughout our entire series. This game, with the rate of scoring, is definitely within reach for both teams still. Without a doubt, Denver can turn this one around as the 50 there. Try to turn things in Denver's favor, though they'll have to find a new chance. Kunix has no boost, but they're doing an awfully good job at maintaining possession. Frenchie sends it across midfield, and Zekel gonna take it slow in the back end. Though their last back, and an awkward touch. Suddenly, Kunix is going to throw it forward, though. Denver was quick to that one. I thought they might have had a team play.
There's a lofter. Oh, no. Frenchie takes another ball away. One defensively, and now he has an offensive one to his tally. Feels bad for San Francisco. They could really be putting this one away. Another shot coming in. Zekel able to take it away. Gusnov tries to get the clear, but the middling presence from San Francisco is there, and they are going to take this ball back on the retreat.
Frenchie is definitely getting a little too excited to get a touch on the ball in some situations, and it's been their undoing. Though thankfully they have a cushion to sit back on in 4-2. Though Gusnov gonna tighten the grip of Denver there with that passing play.
Kunix, the initial touch out, loses control, and it's just a quick 1-2. Zekel to Gusnov. Elementary, my dear Watson, as they are able to just put that ball in the box.
And now here's another chance for Julian with the dribble. Frenchie to beat, they flick it, and now we are all tied up. Forced across the board, and San Francisco no longer have this room for error.
I tell you what, the first team to get somebody on the ball carrier is going to have a significant advantage. That is the thing that both teams are lacking right now, consistently keeping presence on the attacking ball.
And now it really comes down to who can be the better team in this final minute. Of course, all the not all the possession, but all the momentum in the favor of Denver. Though San Francisco could start a counterattack here as Julian on the back foot has low boost, and unfortunately all three players got back in time, though this pass tries to come forward, and Julian with a clear, 30 seconds to go, and things are starting to slow down a little bit. We haven't seen nearly as much scoring as we have in the first couple of minutes, but that nearly got changed there by Julian.
San Francisco will look to clear this one away. Good contest by Denver on the forecheck here. 9 seconds left to keep this one out of an overtime situation. Django, one. Kunix with the follow. He will put this one in.
Django puts the S on his chest and gets this one done with the center that beats two and leaves the empty net for Kunix. And the only thing left is to wonder if they score those, and I'm sure they do. At this level, he'll definitely be the hero in this one for San Francisco to get them out of a messy one, so long as they can hold on right here, and they will. San Francisco escape with game one, though it was a rough one.
It was a rough one for both teams defensively. I mean, The defense, with all due respect, non-existent. We saw too many instances where both teams were just allowed to go clear into their opposing defensive zones and have their way in the offensive quarter. Denver, multiple times, unhindered through the midfield, just straight into the San Francisco backline. You have to defensively pressure the ball in all circumstances, and I feel like it's going to be the first team to do that consistently against each other that's going to get the leg up in this series.
I do agree with that. You think the defense is the thing to put the magnifying glass on, though I think it's a little bit different than putting on constant defensive pressure. I think the problem was not the pressure, but the quality of the clears that were being put out. A lot of times we saw a poor clear that was quickly turned over and made into a passing play or a shot on target. And I thought that was what really got San Francisco that game, or what really put Denver back into it as well. Only thing I can really hope for is that all of our games are nearly as exciting as that one, because I didn't think anybody was running away with that game in any circumstance.
It definitely was a very tight game. Both teams had the puncher's chance. We'll see if game 2 sees any adjustments or if it's more of the same. And if it's more of the same, I mean, it's like 4th of July early.
Oh, you know me. I sure do love my goal explosions, car explosions, and fireworks, though this isn't Champions Field, so I'll have to do without the fireworks. We'll see if the others will do for me, though, as Django's trying to put the center. Gustav with a booming clear, and that pinch is going to send it right back from whence it came. San Francisco didn't really let that one sit for long in their own box.
But sadly, we're playing Rocket League right now. We're not playing glorified volleyball, and both teams still struggling with those long clears. It is a major issue. They're giving up possession frequently. Yes, the pace of play is amazing. However, I haven't seen enough control. Speaking of control, Ezekiel gonna see this one out of the mid.
Gently caressing the ball through the air and finds its way through the angle of all players, threading the needle, finishing off a beautiful blanket like Mima did back in the old days by the fireside. And they're going to have themselves a 1-goal lead to kick off our match. Kunix tries to take that away, but Zekel with a clear. Django fires it across. Thought for a second Julian might be a San Francisco player, but that car is blue, not white.
I mean, I've heard of a few different instances of color blindness. Never blue-white color blindness, my friend. You might need to get a doctor on that one. As for San Francisco, they may need a checkup of their own. Lacking the pressure that we saw early on in game number 1. They give up another possession here. Denver all the way back into the white zone.
This ball going to sit in the center. Zekel dodges one bump. Kunix with the 50. Excellently done there to keep the attack alive all by themselves. Julian forward, sends it across Gusnov. Not in a great position, though. Zekel touches it down, and that could have been a Harlem Globetrotter-esque finish. Though Gusnov just couldn't get the shot on target, and San Francisco still going to stay within 1 goal.
It's a great set, and Denver still maintaining presence in the San Francisco zone. San Francisco can breathe with a sigh of relief, but they need to control this ball into the offensive zone. Otherwise, you're going to continue to see only these lackluster 2 shots. I mean, you compare it to game number 1, it's just not there at the moment.
Yeah, it hasn't been enough yet, but that 50 and Zekel, very calm in the box, will sit around and it'll fall right on their car. That sure was a close chance for San Francisco, and Denver are going to look forward to the future. Django tries to advance the ball. They'll do so, though. Gusnov takes over. Kunix chips it forward. Zekel's up right away. Gusnov on the wing looking to follow, and I thought they might have had a shot there, though they missed on the contact. Django sends it forward. Zekel back in. And no one's really forward for Denver. They don't look all too interested in challenging this ball, though. A double commit. Kunix is forward. They have room to run. It falls center, and that is finished by Django.
Kunix able to beat 2, and then the entire defense on its back foot. A little bit of a team bump there as well that Kunix is able to drive through. Django has an easy time. Zekel backwards, unable to get the contest on the past mid.
And now they are tied back up. New life for San Francisco, despite the rough comings of this match. And Frenchie forward and nearly had a pre-flip shot there to add on to the total incredible shots that San Francisco have had so far tonight, or at least for this entire series from both teams, though. We'll have to see if there are any more highlight reel finishes in store. Kunix forward, this will come center. Everyone backs off. Zekel clears. This will go off the backboard. Loose ball, they shoot, and it gets through everybody. Top bins. Goosenob, top shelf, where Mama hides the cookies.
I tell you what, this is starting to look less and less like a Rocket League game and more like a pinball game, my friend. Just the ball does not want to stay stationary on a bumper. Long clears have been the name of the game, and the teams that are shelling this ball off the backboard have been able to set up quality chances in the box. Credit to Denver, because they are able to withstand some of the pressure from San Francisco and create quality opportunities.
Well, if this happens to be a pinball game, good thing I have a lot of quarters in store, because I sure hope we don't run out of credits on this series. And here's another chance in the box that Zekel will finish off, and Denver are up 2.
Mercy, the Goats are in with a scream at the moment. Zekel, the last man on his way in on that play. Again, all 3 members of Denver getting involved in the offensive push.
And now, with not much time left, Denver are sure looking like they're going to take that game back that they might feel like got stolen from them in game 1. And Frenchie, with room to run, and Julian returns with a chase down save at the last second. Heroics from them, and they've still got a 2-goal lead late.
And Goosenob coming in with a great demo to alleviate any offensive pressure. However, I'm still looking for both these teams to get some semblance of control on this ball. The ball is spending more time in open space than it is on the hood of a car. And while that's led to some high-powered offense, it's the defense that's been lacking.
Zekel here with a big clear, and Julian with the one-timer bounce shot slips its way through, found the angle, and you are right. This is a lot of one-timers, shots going left and right, and just big clears coming off the wall. I haven't seen much dribbles lately or flicks like we saw for a short bit of time in game 1. Though Frenchie here has chance with control to change it. They lost it though, unfortunately, with that backflip. Zekel forward trying to send that up. Julian actually wins out with just 20 seconds left. It looks like with Denver in possession right now, that this game might be all but over.
Although the center here, very nice little doink away, is going to clear it. And that really does put it in the book for me. Zekel will put another one off the backboard. This is going to go all the way back. However, Denver able to control. And yes, they make a statement in here in game number 2. They are not about to go away, and they have a lot of momentum going into game 3.
What's crazy to me is that we wondered if we were going to see adjustments, and we saw adjustments on one side of the field. Denver made an adjustment, San Francisco did not, and the stronger team survived in this one. Denver have tied up this series. They scored the same amount of goals that they scored in the previous game. Didn't change anything about the way they were playing, and San Francisco just couldn't handle it a second time around. And it's not looking good for San Francisco if they can't make the correct adjustment in this one.
I mean, I still feel like this game, this whole entire series is wide open, my friend. Yes, Denver was able to get a lot more of the forward touches they were looking for. San Francisco lost control more often than not. However, it literally only takes one simple carry through the midfield to set up a 2v1 opportunity for either of these teams at this point. And that is the problem I feel like that needs to be stopped at the moment. As the server did go down for maintenance, we'll keep on talking to you here about the game. Really, though, Deli, my biggest problem right now is the fact that both of these teams, they have the opportunity to really take the other one completely out of the offensive game plan. All they need to do is really maintain the pressure that they're getting with these hard hits, whether it be off the backboard, whether it be the long clears. There isn't enough presence behind the ball after the initial touch. And really the game changer for me is going to be if one of those teams can grasp that opportunity, grasp that free space that is around the ball, because it goes from a game of, oh, well, we had more opportunities, we won, to, oh, we had a whole lot more control. We limited the chances for our opponents. They didn't get as much offense. We beat them.
Yeah, once you mentioned that you thought a lot of teams were just kind of pinging the ball around, I did notice it myself because I watched for a minute there. And I would love to see a team sacrifice the pace for control for a short moment when they have plenty of space upfield, because I have seen teams just kind of firing the ball down the pitch instead of taking it over just for the sake of eliminating the danger in the current moment. And you want to think a couple steps ahead. And that definitely was San Francisco's undoing a couple of times. Now in hindsight, which of course everyone says your hindsight is better because you're looking back on things. But I do definitely think that is what San Francisco could do, is sacrifice the pace for control a little bit. You're getting outpaced, so why not use what you've got to your advantage? And we'll have to see if they can put this practice into I don't know what word
Practice?
would say for practice into practice? Yeah, I kind of dug myself a hole there, though. San Francisco here in the corner with a Frenchie over top of one, and that was an attempt at maintaining possession, though it was quickly disposed of.
We'll see if it is just this quick poke offense that we've become accustomed to between these two teams. Oh, Django with the back touch. Kunix a chance to control. It's going to be forced into a 50-50. Now, two San Francisco players flounder at the ball. Django is able to keep control up and over, but Zekiel able to keep the ball out for now.
Django definitely been a bit of a playmaker for San Francisco, and Kunix has done the same sort of job, though they haven't been as efficient in the center lane as they have been on the wings. And I'd definitely like to see Django not being the only one with the confidence to move forward and shoot, because I've noticed they've been the only one creeping forward as of late. And even now, they're the only one near the ball, and Julian shoots, and unfortunately, you can't trust Django to make every challenge because things like that can happen.
If Cyborgs could breathe, they'd breathe a sigh of relief, because that ball spent just about an extended stay just careening across the goal line there. Did not go in. Thankfully for San Francisco, they will get away with that one, but I'm still needing more possession. Here's a great pass, will be received by Django.
And that is an excellent finish there. Frenchie takes over on the 50, and it works perfectly for Django, who finds the angle and slots that one near side. Didn't even have to shoot it that tight, though. I guess flex all you want when you can shoot like that. That sure was excellently placed, and now they are up one. And that's huge for them, considering that they lost big last game.
I agree with you completely, but another thing you can finally add to the discussion here is the fact that a lot of the clears that we've seen out of San Francisco, nobody's been forward. It's just been a chase, easily received by Denver. That right there was San Francisco. They had two players up. Django was able to receive that long cleared ball as a pass, and he was able to do something with it. Can they continue that, or can they get something a little more sustainable with their offensive pressure, will be my question.
Definitely going to have to watch out for the clears now, though. Gustav is going to have to force one from Frenchie. Julian almost with a dunk, and somehow that goes post bar, ground and out, and doesn't find its way through. Denver now up the wing, sent in the box again, though. Frenchie going to take their time. This is what I was interested in seeing, is if they would sacrifice pace for possession. They do it here. Will it pay off as Zekel comes? Django takes over in the wing, and quickly drove that one to the corner. And they had Denver on their heels for a moment.
They did, and I feel like that's something we need to see more of out of San Francisco, because he drove that ball all the way to the corner. They managed to get a little bit of an extended stay. What a 50 by Django. He will once again hem them in their own end. 50-50. This is going to drop in the box. Julian not ready for it. Django, shot, scores. San Francisco now up 2.
And suddenly, Denver are the ones on the back foot after a dominating Game 2 situation. That is a team bump that I've noticed a couple times, though it hadn't really shot them in the foot any time before. It just then clears their own house, and now they're down 2. San Francisco is suddenly looking awfully strong, and they'll have to keep up the work because they know if they make a couple slips that Denver is right there to pounce. Gustav sends it up to Zekel, and a loose ball, though Gustav tries to get up. It's taken over, and now the shot from Frenchie. This is going to see its way, and Django is there to clean up again. They've got a hat trick.
Now that these loose balls are in a majority of the Denver half and in the Denver quarter, we're seeing so many more opportunities open up for San Francisco. And all it took was simple control into the blue half of the field.
And now Django up again, looking for the shot, and that's just a little bit off the target. Almost had themselves a fourth. Zekel looks for Gustav. Julian too slow to finish off the three-player team play, though. That 50 is up. Gustav tries to send it across, and nobody's really around now that I think of it. This ball coming up the wall. Kunix will clear, and that's just going to sit around. San Francisco is starting to ease up on defense, and this is the last thing they want.
Definitely don't want that. This ball going to flow in the box. Zekel, will you put it just wide? Another ball careens to the opposite side. Side to side we go. Shot on by Zekel. Easily cleared away by Django. And it'll be Denver on their retreat. That's a weak touch being put towards the net. Good pass and shot. However, it's saved by Julian. Continued press in the box. Frenchie will sky one high. Julian looking to get it to the side. Good catch by Django. Gets a 50-50 still in the box. Zekel, though, will manage to push this one away. But San Francisco, undaunted, they will continue to hem Denver in its own zone.
For just a second, can we appreciate the offensive prowess of Django that is on display right now? Name a play where San Francisco has scored or even had a good chance on offense where Django hasn't been around. They've been doing just about everything they can. Anytime they're on the ball, it turns to gold. And right there, Frenchie nearly opened their own account, though. You can definitely attribute the success of this game to Django and Frenchie putting in work in that final third as the clock hits 0 here. Django's not done, though. You know they want a fourth, though. They'll give it to Frenchie, and that will hit the ground. So San Francisco plays offense like they did in Game 1, and Denver lost their offense somewhere between the break.
Mercy, I tell you what, I agree with you completely. Django was the catalyst. He was the one making a lot of that happen, and it was 50-50 after 50-50. He put himself forward with that ball pressure, exactly what we were talking about earlier. The push enabled him to create those 50-50s, and he won a majority of them. It was actually impressive how many 50s San Francisco was able to win. They were able to keep a presence forward, and then those loose balls that just seemed to be running rampant in this series, they kept on bouncing San Francisco's way.
I mean, how many times did we see a 50 come out from, say, Frenchie or Kunix in the back end, and then it falls to the ground, and, you know, we're not really paying too much attention, and then there's Django already supersonic dribbling the ball forward. Even one time, they caught me entirely off guard because I didn't see Django there, and they were making a good sprint into the corner, forced a double commitment, and it didn't turn into a San Francisco goal, but it sure is incredible to see how quick Django is to get these loose balls, and that has been a big contributor to their success, is how hungry for success that Django is right now. And whether or not Denver can put a stop to the combination of Frenchie and Django has yet to be seen from Denver, because they sure couldn't do it last game, though their backs are to the wall now and they don't have the room for error anymore.
I think the game plan is the same going into Game 4. You want, if you are either of these teams, to keep presence on the ball. San Francisco did a great job of that, and the ball possession maintained in the Denver zone consistently due to it. Now for Denver, they're going to have to take the exact same model and cram it back the way of San Francisco. A shot on is easily cleared away by Frenchie, but now they're enabling this offense by keeping the ball in the offensive zone.
Yeah, Denver really there. It looked like they were back to life on offense with that chance, and San Francisco still looking the same. Frenchie, if they could have pulled that up and touched that down, that would have been a glorious, glorious pass. This will fall down slowly, and Zekel was up, though Gustav took over, so a double commit, and maybe they're low on boost. I can't tell, though. That clear, Gustav going to have to use whatever they have left to send that one down the pitch. Kunix with an awkward clear. Julian is going to send it center while there were a bunch of bumps coming through for Denver. We're starting to see all the players forward to help out, and this could be a good sign for things to come for Denver.
Agreed, my friend. However, it's going to take getting it out of their own zone at this point to really completely open up the game plan. Frenchie is going to get another one down. The trap will leave this ball in the box. Julian maintains himself. Pass two. Can he get past Kunix? He will take possession, secure the corner. Gusnov almost able to get that ball. It's going to be a long clear, but Denver has a chance to maintain possession.
And now Kunix going to take over. Julian very, very quick, and they actually won out the mid boost from Kunix, who was sitting right on top of it. Not sure how that happened, though. Now San Francisco are going to be reeling for boost. Gusnov turns back in. Frenchie is out. Over top of them, Django having to use some to return. The flick is forward. Django using all of their boost, and now two players, I believe, are out of boost. And the shot comes in and bumps, and they can't score there. Denver had an excellent attack progressing, and they just couldn't get the finish.
Yeah, both teams are trying to press this ball forward while maintaining control. It hasn't been the long clears, and this is exactly what I want to see. It is a low-scoring game right now because the opportunities are coming in, and the defense is actuating on time to keep the ball out. Who will get the first goal? That will be the question, because a lot of the pressure is going to originate there.
And now there's chance for Denver, a loose ball in the box, and Django with the clear, though it's not done yet. Zekel is up, and Frenchie will find the clear. Julian back up. Gusnov going to take over with low boost. Julian is up. They will shoot off the backboard, and there's Gusnov. Is it in? No! So close, but it finds its way just outside of the target. San Francisco down the other end, and Frenchie can't get a touch. Django eliminated from the play, and demos all around, but both teams had some really tight opportunities there, and we're still at zeros.
The double demo right here is going to be huge. However, that long clear might have just nullified it. Julian maintains the corner here. It's a pop to the other side. Frenchie able to get by one. However, Julian rushing in. His whiff may enable San Francisco the clear. It's a ball outlet. Zekel will be the first one there as Django a little bit too far forward. They are going to force a retreat here. Both teams, plenty of opportunities. It's going to be the first goal at this point. I have that feeling, Deli. The first goal might win it all.
It feels like overtime already, the way both teams are desperate to deny the other team of opportunities. Gusnov with the flick. It's on top, and Frenchie saves Django. They'll be tested there. Django stands tall. Ball still up in the box, and looking for a clear, though. All three meet together. Julian takes over, though. It's a loose ball. Django forward to Frenchie, looking to shoot, and that will find its way through. I think that one was hitting the post, but the goalie might have finished that one off.
And Julian, you're the last man back. You have to control that to the corner. Don't just give up the weak touch, because it's immediately jumped on by who else but Django's got a mango. He puts it in the box to his other man forward, and it's a ball that was nary unsavable.
I took a second look there, and I hate to say it, but I do believe that ball was absolutely hitting that post, and I think it was the fault of Julian who put that one in. Though when it's that tight and it's happening that quickly, you cannot knock them for having to go for that save, because in a game like this, that is something that you have to go for, and it could be the difference maker between life or death. Though here's the chance for Denver trying to tie things up. Frenchie tested off the back wall. Julian shoots, and they find the angle, and they are a hero for this one because that was very, very close.
I know mountain goats can find their way up some steep molehills, or they're quite the Sherpa, if you know what I mean, but that's not an angle that I would normally think would be climbable. Well done by Julian to find it.
And there was even a goalie there, though the angle was so perfect that it was just out of their reach, and that one's a bit of a heartbreaker, though. We thought one goal was going to be enough. It looks like the magic number is 2. It takes 2 to make a thing go right, as said many years ago, and here we go.
Oh, no.
I believe Zekel is disconnected, so are we about to see a 3v2 in overtime?
Yes, it is a 3v2. Frenchie looking to the mid. Julian trying to keep it out. He does. We are in overtime, my friend, but it's going to be a race against time as Zekel needs to get back as soon as possible. Kunix looking to get this ball up and over. It'll be pushed to the side. Pace is slowed down a little bit. Be a push on by Frenchie. Long ball into the corner. Gusnov Double demo here, one for each. Julian able to keep a grasp on this. Gustav will try to keep it away. However, Django is there. It'll be a ball back into the box. Julian looking to keep this. It'll be played on by Kunix. Still waiting for Zekiel to get back into this matchup. He's been gone about a minute. The boys from Denver able to stay on this ball, and they may actually stall out, being able to keep this ball out. Frenchie with a ball down. It is Django trying to keep control in the corner. They're doing everything but getting shots on net. This may go back the other way.
Yeah, they are definitely holding on by a thread right now. Their glass slipper is certainly fitting into place right now for Denver with their backs to the wall. A 3v2 overtime, and they are doing the most. That 50 will buy them some time to gather some boost. They sure are low right now. That 50 finds its way into the box. Gustav smart to not move forward. That 50 is behind both of them, and now the house is coming forward for San Francisco. That clear coming forward. Frenchie sends it back up. Gustav going to send this back up the wing, though, and buy them some more time. Every clear is just another opportunity for Zekiel to come back. Though Gustav is up for this one. They committed. Django is forward. Nobody's back. Julian, a race against time. This will fall center. Kunix will shoot, and that will be all she wrote. Anybody else have goosebumps, or is it just me? That one was exciting.
Oh, man. This is a feels bad, man, on all fronts. I mean, credit to San Francisco. They finally convert. It's just such a terrible way to go. Tragedy striking the scream. And your heart goes out to him. Even in the chat, San Francisco offering condolences at this point. Oh, you don't like to win that way, but if you're the Cyborgs, I mean, you're gonna take that. Credit to Julian and Gustav, though. They not only stuck it out, they stalled that thing out over a minute and a half. Every opportunity for the man to get back. Sadly, it seems like what I saw in the chat, power went out. That's a noof.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. About the worst timing on planet Earth. You can only mark it any worse if it was Game 5 and that sort of thing happened. But they really did fight with all they had at the end of that one, and it sure was exciting. A new element, you know, never a dull moment, and this series really had something new for us every single game. I mean, one game, both teams were high scoring, and then the next two, only one team was high scoring and went back and forth. This game, nobody could score at all, and then we had a 3v2. It doesn't get much crazier than that.
It was definitely a very good series, my friend. And the series, they're not done with, my friend, at all. Everybody, stay in your seats. We have one more matchup for you tonight. It'll be the Seattle Swarm versus the San Antonio Revenge. The nightcap on your screen very soon after a short break. Do not go